We're going as well. Nading off the door, Diha has opened it up, and we're into game. We'll have sound and everything running in just a second, because down goes the first. And it looks like they're actually just pressuring topside. 2 Ts make it 3 are in. And we'll be hearing it shortly, I'm sure.
Could just be us again, Alex. You never know about these things. But 1xBet odds here quite, well, just favoring forZe. It is a fast top here from ENCE. A retake underway. No utility remaining here. It is just going to be the bullets. Gooshed on up. Zorti in a little bit of trouble. Kenzi's found one. Time now, halfway ticked.
Okay, Spinks is in a power position. Kenzi's relieved a lot of the stress, and Flit trading does put it all onto Snappy. No armor. Bomb's planted for him, and they're closing the gap. If he could just play time, he's going to get double swung. Does he rot enough time off the clock? I have no idea. I can't hear it.
I'm pretty sure. All right, well, this is like, we have one of our senses neutered right now, guys. We'll do our darndest.
I'm hyper aware of how annoying I am.
You don't have to listen to this guy
every time? Oh.
So, unfortunate for everybody at home. But that right there, guys, is you're going to see that a lot from ENCE. I'm going to send out some smoke signals. Give me 1 second. I'm going to send out some smoke signals here, Alex. We'll see if we can sort this one out. Okay. Never mind. It's coming. It's on its way. One of the scenarios here with ENCE is that they like these really fast maneuvers on nuke, right? We've caught an absolute truckload of ENCE quick plays, and there we go. 4 Galils, Mac 10, squeaky blown open. Doto, someone who's come up absolutely clutch for them, at least within the Pro League new games that we've seen. Smoked off main, a little bit of a stall out, and in they go.
Oh man, Chad, I wish we'd had time to set the scene a little bit. Because this is what ENCE have been up to previously. They love, especially Snappy, calling these fast top pops and immediately reaping the rewards. Jerry caught on his yard aggress. Just collecting and farming up frags. I think they suspect the CTs are saving already, which it does seem they are. Just having another bite of the cherry into the 3rd round of play.
For me, this situation is ENCE should win nuke and forZe should win Mirage.
Yeah, oh,
right?
Well, I mean, what is it, 17 now? 16 wins?
17 in a row for forZe on Mirage. So the way that I look at these opening 2 maps, it's almost like we're guaranteed or destined for a 3rd.
A best of 1 on Ancient.
Yeah, so the thing is, these teams have to live up to that though, right? So if you start seeing ENCE looking like they're in trouble on nuke, or you start seeing forZe look like they're in a bit of trouble on Mirage, well then someone's done some good prep.
Certainly, and there's a great interview. HLTV, Zorti holds on nicely. That's a good punishing kill as well. But there was an interview over on HLTV.org where they talked to Jerry a little bit, and he admitted about the veto with their opponent here in the round of 12, that nuke was weak for them. He acknowledged that forZe's nuke was weak, but he also felt like ENCE's was. He gave himself about a 60-40 odds of converting on this map. I want to see some evidence of that.
He gave himself 60-40?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, he's going in with the mentality they can win their opponent's pick. We'll see how that goes, because if they can't stop the aggressive top maneuvers, then they're already off to a really bad start, right? And the fact that ENCE have started conditioning that on the 1st and 2nd rounds of their game gives them a lot to play with now. So when we get around to the 1st gun round, or the 1st gun round where ENCE attempt to go fast top, forZe have to stop it.
And if you're a human being and you play Counter-Strike, then you can definitely empathize, or at least appreciate this storyline of Zorti and Kenzie, but playing some of their first tier 1 opposition and thriving.
I didn't address it, but this is a full buy from forZe. Flit has an M4. They have 3 SMGs. Like this is a 3rd round buy after a force from forZe on the CT side here. So
I wonder if the extra couple of scout kills incited them to go for this, because that Mac 10, the Galils are in play, a nade to bait them in, and oh, he didn't clear his corners. Jerry gets punished for that negligence. And that's a 6 seconds bought and shaved off the clock. He's naded off the door. A smoke on top. It's perfect. Good util usage out of forZe. It will slow down ENCE. They have to respect that. They have to.
They want to send them over towards Flit, you would hope, right? He's the guy with the M4 here. And there he goes. He picks up one just through the smoke on towards ramp. Zorti dinked on down. Lots of pressure now.
Yeah, the jig is up. They've seen the M4. They're trying to nade and finish off Zorti, and descending into that low site. He'd love a frag. One. Just take one on the way in. And he has. Knocks the head off of Hades. Low HP already onto Diha, so he's very vulnerable and susceptible to that scout should he expose himself. Spinks trying to retreat, actually back up the ramp. Very indecisive, and they've lost Doto's lobby lurk. This has fallen apart completely for ENCE.
Are they saving? Or are they going to give this a crack? Because if they go in through Hut, Hamez is here.
Yeah, I mean, they'd just be feeding the beast at this point.
It's a save. It has to be a save. All right, a bit of robbery there from forZe. So we had a bit of confusion in the first few rounds of play, but we've caught up now. And forZe, yeah, with these back-to-back buy rounds, managed to get themselves on the board here. They even find an AK, they keep that M4, a Galil picked up for Zorti, so getting a nice few upgrades here. That's great from Flit. You wonder if he caught, you know, the occlusion of the smoke there. Right, it's different for everybody's POV, but interesting one. Just throwing some bullets into Hut and getting a kill. You love that. Now the buy is back, right? We're going to see a lot of this, right? We spoke about the fast plays. Well, ENCE also love a good force buy. So here we go. Maybe this is one of those fast top plays. Can forZe dispel them?
Okay, well, starting quickly. Diha springing into the top site and no one to receive him. He can't believe the space he's been given. Perhaps by design, Almeza can't contest the plant. Spinks is already getting it down.
They're choosing to play retake. Look how much util they're holding on to here.
Okay, well, that's worked wonderfully for the first. Jerry corralling from main and Zorti to pack him up. It's time for that util, though. You can see Diha's looking for some of his own. They are completely dry on nades. The snappy flank could be everything. They're setting up to execute through heaven. If Snappy was to strike, this could ruin everything. He sees Kenzie sitting duck. They'll have to deal with him. There's not enough time to go for a defuse. You might just have to cut your losses. Almeza lucky to be alive. Now losing the AK. Will take another for his trouble, but yeah, ENCE will make it 3, and that's a very punishing round to lose if you're forZe.
That's interesting, right? Because it was clear that forZe was setting up to play retake top.
Deliberately, yeah.
Yeah, so they were opting to, hey, we'll give ENCE the site and then we'll have a retake. And you could see the util they're throwing out from heaven, but one of the issues there was Snappy getting the kill at the same time as a flash was thrown by one of the forZe players that bounced off a teammate. You're about to see the cluster truck up here. There's the flash that lands in the pack. So now they're having to turn. They've just lost a player in all of that. Yeah, so fumbled the retake right there, and well, bouncing back is ENCE. 3-1 score reads. AWP out now, and this is just the force buy wars here. A classic case of it. 1 M4 on Flit. Well, we've seen this. An M4 A4 for Almeza, and Zorti with that AWP. Let's see if they can make this one work. It's almost like a slightly upgraded version of the first round they won. Gonna be a window smoke just here. Thrown out from Spinks. This is gonna help with their yard control. Zorti not playing over towards that line. He will be feeling the pressure. You can see these isolation smokes. Main smoked off.
He still has some degree of info, and they're actually looking to punish Flit, who's been boosted up. And with a silencer, he could be good for a couple. Oh, one slips under. Takes him long enough that Diha keeps us level, and the bomb is descending as it currently stands. There's only one man there, and Kenzie, a missed shot. Won't get many more opportunities like that. Diha actually choosing to pull the plug, and what's going on there? A real opportunity goes awry. He hits it through the door instead. He says play on, and perhaps Diha now feeling the pressure. Jerry to swing the door open on next sound cue. It's a fake. Jerry does not bite. Oh, he does. And it results in his demise. Spinks given a chance, but it's Diha to come up clutch. 2 half-health members of forZe. And already he's isolated the first. Almeza booked Kenzie's deagle. It was a way into this round. Will it be a way to close? The answer's no. Diha good for the quad, and a 1v2 for good measure.
Oof, all right, 4-1 now, and you're gonna start thinking forZe at some point will have to take a save. This might be that exact moment. Instead of a decent back and forth, I know they only got 1 round out of it, but some of these have been very, very close scenarios here. This one, did Jerry just swing that open? Because Diha didn't get to the sound cue of the fake plant on the bomb there, so getting fired up. There's Hades. And I think this one here, if you're the uninitiated, if you're hearing it, well, why are we watching ENCE versus forZe?
You're right.
Well, they definitely qualify for the playoffs, guys. That's the first reason you're watching them. But second reason is there's a couple of names here that you really should take note of. This man right here on your screen who just clutched out the previous Diha is one. Hades, another.
Yeah, dude, Doto, of course, and you can see the opening statement from him just saying Hades has taken us to a new level with his ability on that AWP. Speaking of Doto, he's fine. Kenzie's deagle again featured in the feed early, so there is a world where these deagles can be threatening. Flit would have to be ignored. 2 quick clicks, not going to be easy, and instead just a bit of chip damage. It's nothing to be celebrated. And this one will just peter out into the expected result. And nice to see a little cheeky heaven wrap. You don't get many of them.
Yeah, I really like the pace from Snappy because it can be really disruptive, right? Like it's just if you're unable to stop it, then he's just going to keep running over you with it. And then it's something that's going to be in his arsenal of calling for the remainder of the game. Now, if it doesn't work and you get locked out, you look a little bit silly. But
right.
So far, so good. Think about how many rounds they've finished topside.
and have been planting so early. Hades getting the info and the frag.
Yeah, so I worry for forZe already because now it's a case of chasing your tail. But we'll see how far they can push the issue here today.
And it's not like it hasn't featured a little bit of everything. We've seen those top plants. We just saw Diha closing out on the lower site. Yard smokes have been effective. Snappy already up to 10 kills. And I do think he is going to be one of those leaders. I know this is very easy and floaty analysis to drop, but he is one of those in-game leaders that tends to be at his best when he is fragging. His calls will synchronize with a good Snappy performance.
Yeah, because he's feeling himself, right?
Yeah.
So if the calls are working and he's finding that space, then he's feeling the game. And that's going to make his calling better as well. It's not calling for him, but if things are going well and they're getting into these positions, then of course he's going to be able to find, you know, the odd one or two. Especially when he's operating with the Mac 10 as well. You look at the way he's bounding around these corners. Yeah, being selfless, but also he gets to set the pace for his team. He's like, guys, we're going ramp, right? And he's got the Mac 10. So if you're coming in to trade him, you need to be behind him to trade, right? So he gets to set that tone, that pace.
And don't let me dismiss it as just, you know, farmed eco frags. I mean, he also had that incredible Tech 9 flank that stopped the retake in its track.
Well, this is the thing, right? Eco kills as well, they're not as easy as they once used to be. It's not no head armor USPs and Glocks, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about Deagles, P250s, util. They're even whipping out MP9s now in some of these lighter buys. And thing is, someone has to get them. They're the hardest rounds to win, and well, so are these. Apparently back into top. Spinks opens things up. The Mac 10s cannot be stopped.
Not again. Zorti's overwhelmed. Molotov'd off. They have to respect it. And ENCE already. Look at the clock, Chad. 1 minute 33, and Diha isn't even sweating as he plants.
Yeah, this is just no dramas, right? And that buy right there from forZe, it didn't feel like it had everything they needed, right? Light on in a couple of util departments. Now, the weapons aren't bad, but to stop a top rush, you need a molly squeaky, you need a molly heart. You know what happens if you do that? They're probably going to extinguish or run through with the first two players anyway, right? So
no molly.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. There's no hut molly, so they're just going to run straight on through. What are you meant to do, right? You don't even have the utility required to stop the one thing that ENCE run on their nuke all the time, a hard top. Okay.
Maybe we should be prioritizing utility if that's going to
MP9
be
or a
something.
shotgun.
Yeah, a little shotgun on the hut.
You don't want it.
I know you love your Julies. Why don't you go full util Julies, bro? Treat yourself.
But the thing is as well, like you look at the details here that ENCE put into this. If you don't have all the util required, it gets a lot less messy for them. They drop their top heart molly, they blow open Squeaky, they're smoking main, flashes are coming in through Squeaky in towards main, flashes through the skylights, and the spacing that they're running with there, you see the way that Spinks goes, he goes front side of the bomb box. That we can wrap around. They have multiple people pressuring that position.
Question.
Yes.
Is Snappy ballsy enough to call something like a top hop again? You don't just go straight back into it, do you?
Yeah, he is. I don't think he will, but he is.
Okay, well, looks like we are going to be seeing a little bit of a slower approach. He had to be walking on into Zorti's domain, and I don't know where his health went. Was it through the box?
Must have been, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you can see the bullet. Zorti's got his lineups, kept Diha very honest, and it's actually set ENCE up in a power position should they continue to push. If it is just Snappy, though, he'll be able to call their fake, call their bluff. Should enable forZe to be in the right place.
Yeah, Kenzie here has so much information.
Oh, Snappy
spotted.
Yeah. Oh, and now the power starts to shift. Snappy.
Careful, Kenzie.
Nearly had him booked there.
Yeah, well, I guess the fact is it stalled it out and they know it's not coming. So a bit of high alert right now for Flit. You can see these jiggles.
Yeah, but now they know that you know.
That we all know.
No?
All I know is there's a lot of pressure on ramp right now. Do ENCE want to stick with this? No way. They want to head back. So they've done their job. They've pulled Zorti over. They forced the ramp defender of Flit towards the lower side. And now they're posturing for a top split.
Yeah, Almeza cannot believe it's going to happen again to him. This time he's on the site itself, actively holding a late arrival from Snappy and Kenzie. This standoff in yard. Oh, damn. The finest margins separate them, but looking good for forZe here. Jerry in a prime position to punish and already has dealt out two. Put in the ground. Kenzie last spotted out yard. Zorti up in the heavens. And doesn't get the information on that jump either, so Hades still powerful position for him to linger in. He hasn't dumped his util. Bogdan's law dictates that the AWP to be saved. Kenzie dispatched for a passive one. Are they giving this up? They can't be. Seeing what Zorti can find at least. Oh, and it's more than something. Hades does shut him down.
Spots another as well here. This one is done. I didn't even feel that they were convinced they were going for this one, right? It felt like, are we retaking? I'm not sure.
Like if you get something.
Well, we'll have a little look, and whoever dies last gets to save, I guess. So Kenzie, not going to get the hold onto the AWP. He's gone too. So yeah, all right, let's go on to Mirage. Let's see if that's about the same for forZe, and then we'll just go to Ancient, shall we? Let's just play the first cut, because come on now.
How do you explain it though? Like proper, you know, silver chat question that they probably are asking but too afraid to type. Like, how do you explain how a team can be so proficient on Mirage to the point where they're beating every tier 1 team in existence, 17 in a bloody row, it just works like water, and then you proceed to not look like they can defend some top pops on Nuke?
They don't have a 6-map pool, I suppose.
That's as simple as that, I guess.
Yeah, so they have a they have a 6-map pool, which includes Nuke, but they obviously still have weaknesses in that 6-map pool, being Nuke.
Yeah. He's going to try and tip the scales, lingering in the smokes. It's unlikely he goes unchecked. Every team so diligent with their spray. He's been spotted out. He'd do very well to take anyone with him now. And yeah, damage. Snappy deals with him, and the rest likely to fall into place. 2 across Secret already, but it looked like Snappy was second-guessing the bomb descent.
Feels like he's calling them back here, really just calling an evacuate on this. So leaving 2 to Secret, bringing the bomb a little bit more passive. And yeah, he's pulling on the leash quite hard here, right? You could see there was a lot of talking from Snappy there. They lingered for a moment.
They took too long about it, I think.
Yeah, Snappy stayed there, and then they all started coming up. So he's definitely saying, no, I don't want you in Secret. You're coming back with me. This is where he's had to, I'm assuming here, but that's exactly what it looks like to me, that he's had to be quite stern.
they were very tempted to descend. You can see.
So it's that Secret, boss.
He's scoped up, walking in, but they're back to lobby, thanks to Snappy's call.
I don't care that you have Secret control. They're down there with pistols. I don't want to die. Come back with me now. And look at them all.
Yeah. Looking to walk back out into their favorite site here on Nuke.
Thank God they did listen. There's 2 Deagles down there, right? So this is a great call here from Snappy. It's brought everybody away from danger. These pistols are now stranded. And if they can stay very tight with this now, ENCE, they can avoid losing anything or trade to make sure that nothing's carried through into the next round. They've already won the half. This is 8, right? If we just got here. We just turn. If you just whack the stream and you go, oh, forZe vs ENCE, I want that one. You haven't really missed a whole lot other than what you'd expect from ENCE. Some fast tops, some Mac 10 action. Now they're starting to toy with forZe.
And ENCE, I mean, self-described, opponent described, analysts described as just a very unpredictable team. Inconsistent, there's lots of words to describe it. But like, you can watch them on this Nuke, and it does look like a team that can truly, you know, make everyone work. But some of their recent results, at least outside of the Pro League, losses in best of 1s to Havu, Dignitas, a best of 3 loss to Entropic, which we, of course, know as the grand final of the Malta Vibes.
Yeah, there's been... The thing is, with ENCE, I don't know how you frame them, right? And I know you were just saying, like, inconsistent. It's a team that has a very seasoned in-game leader with a lot of names that, unless you tuned into Counter-Strike this year, right? Maybe if you're a hardcore fan, you'd know Diha. The rest of these names, if you're just a general Counter-Strike fan, you don't know Dota, you don't know Hades, you don't know Spinks. They're all of this year, right? That's 100% the case with these names. Now, I think Diha and Hades combined is a very, very powerful duo. I think Spinks, we haven't seen truly what he has to offer completely just yet. We've seen glimpses. And I think Doto has been very handy as a supportive and clutch element for this team who, I know he's a Finn, but he doesn't really ever look flustered. Right? And he actually speaks in interviews. I remember, I think we did the first Doto interview not that long ago. So, yeah, I guess you could even start with similar scenes on forZe. It's just less of an international mix here. But here we go. The util out to stop the top guys. 1 deep towards Squeaky, and that's enough to set Zorti up for a find. But in they go.
Wow, this is brave. Spinks, feeding Zorti more. This is the first we've seen an AWP be the answer, the remedy to this top presence from ENCE, and descending the vent. Zorti firing off pot shots.
Still can get out of control. There's nobody lower right now for forZe.
Yeah, and the bomb has gone down. Hades would need this kill. Oh, it's just shy. Trims the ear hairs of Flit.
This is costly.
Your boy Snappy. He'd love to take Zorti's AWP away. Oh, now that's some audio. And he decides he's going to walk around the entire long way. Smoking down the vents is a bit spooky. Not sure what it achieves.
Looking at it, right? So if he tries the smoke fade in the smoke, he could go down the ladder into it. But they're going to be looking at it, right? So yeah, it's one way to deal with things. It's not a way that's going to get Snappy anything at all. So ENCE grabs one. And we'll make that 2 now for forZe. So let's see if they can get 7 on the half. Maybe I was a little bit too quick to make my judgment.
This is, I mean, this is how they do it. He gets tagged down to 8 HP as he pulls the trigger onto the first, holding a nice line for his second. But yeah, Zorty's the only man so far to actually step up to the ENCE top take, and it's with an AWP on the site. So
Let's see if they can do that again,
Don't think you can replicate that.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 up heaven, first mollying Squeaky, second mollying Heart. That's the way you do it. Oh, they're in again.
Down the vent so fast. Behind them comes Jerry. Oh, sound cue, no fun. But into the site, and now the heads have been hit. Already the bomb going down. This is like the Snappy speed, man. Bomb planted at 1 minute 33. Again, this time the lower site.
So you got some teams, you know, like the Gambits and the VPs
Bloody
of the
hell.
world. They want to wait out all the nades. They want to wait for them. Snappy ain't got time for that.
Snappy is a tournament admin's dream.
Yeah, he's like, all right, boys, how can we get this done in the quickest way possible? And that's 9. So just as simple as you like here. This is great stuff out of ENCE. They've come to play today. And here's one of the great things as well. Oh, let's just see if Hades gets a couple here, because all of these guns are very valuable for forZe. Hades, are you going to clear close? And that's a no. Almaze with the easiest kill of his life. Gets an upgrade into the AK-47. They can drop some guns across. They can keep the buy going for forZe. But at this point, the best they can get is 6. So the CT side will be pretty weak, pretty light on. If you're Snappy, I think one of the things that's a dream is to have a team where the players don't have any egos. Because if you say, I want you to rush top 15 times, and let's say it doesn't work, I'm sure these guys will do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll do it.
Yeah, and it's part of the process, whereas you wouldn't even get to be a part of the process if someone was just saying, no, that's a stupid idea, undermining you, and bang. Zorty, 1 for 1. Hades, he just couldn't believe his luck. A back turned on Zorty's retreat, no util to bail him out, and we find ourselves in a very early 4-on-4, and they're just dry crossing. ENCE should catch one if Hades doesn't beat him to the punch. A weird lay of the land for our mid-round here, Chad. Everyone across secret side, Almaze are aware, so the CTs are plugged into it.
Their flit's already lower.
Rotated in. I always find this exchange quite interesting. Do they boost? Do they just run across? Or do you just hit the first bullet out of your AK? That works too.
That definitely works. Molly the vent rotation, drop a smoke to safely plant. Bomb going down in a minute, so still quite early for some of the games we do here. And Jerry, seeing what he can find here, and I'm going to say it's going to be a hard fight to win against Diha, especially now. More nades coming his way.
Oh, now Almaze has made things interesting. By finding Diha pushed up, Hades has to activate on the decon door. Plant is good for him, so he can't get caught out. And oh, the clear from Almaze, making a round out of this. Bomb plant, not ideal for you, Doto, and they are holding it. I think he hoped the glass break would stop it, but instead it's diffused under their nose, and it was Almaze with it all. He saves forZe and then some. Jerry, just the emotional support.
That one got a little bit out of control there for ENCE, right? It looked really, really good. Maybe took a fight or two that they probably shouldn't. And this is Almaze just peeling him apart. Gets up to his 10th kill. This one, beautiful.
Onto an AWP as well, like, very different round if you aren't ready for that. 4 kills in total from Almaze, and forZe thanking their lucky stars. He's on the roster, top of the scoreboard, and pulls the 3rd home. Zorty activated outside, firing off a miss shot for now. Silo presence established as well to try and support Diha's project.
Lots of pressure on ENCE here. They are coming, the smoke wall in the air now. Flash forward, doesn't see anything, and unfortunately can't go in for a double dip there. We'll have to rotate towards the vents and try and cotton off this rotate. He is on his lonesome down towards the B side of things, ENCE. And with the smoke drop, that isn't going to last forever.
No sound cue provided. Doto just evades the flames. Zorty has actually managed to find that connection. He's been waiting there for a while. Trophy pushed up aggressive. And speaking of aggressive, look at Doto. This is a bit of a solo mission, though.
Oh, I'd hate to be a top defender right now. The fact that Doto has so much space and there's no one even defending hell or heaven, the top players are responsible for the top site and the flank.
Yeah, brutal. If they could do some damage, if they take down kenzie, this one sucks for forZe. If Vito goes down dry again, just like that, and now they strike on the top side as well. Jerry completely blindsided. Wait, they're going back up? They're going back up. Almeza's there to receive.
Oh!
And Almeza with the adjustment. That's glorious. Takes 3 and gives it right back to forZe. Diha to make all of that redundant, though. He's strapped in for the 1v2. 2 already under his belt, and Zorti with patience, but Diha... Oh, Diha. Walking straight into the beast. Great play from Zorti, just anticipating that rotation through the lobby position, and it's Almeza that gives them a way up. I just saw them ascending, like all 3 just flying up that ladder, and that one unchecked vent is all Almeza needs. I think they killed Jerry Chad and just assumed.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe he even flicks up to the Heaven player as well, right? So that is absolutely wild. Toto with the sun in his eyes there. I'm sure I want to put the curtain up.
Yeah, are you crazy?
The blinds down.
I remember how salty I'd get when it was just a little sun on my monitor.
Yeah, you don't want any of that, mate, but this is great. This third one here is fantastic,
right?
right?
Team flash as well. Yeah. Proper chaos.
Yeah, so a couple of little drums in the last 2 rounds for ENCE have given forZe something to work with here on this CT side. Faster yard smokes this time rounds, and well, is that the end goal? Finally with the util, forZe have been able to stop the top pops. An nade on the dome. Diha can't catch a break.
He can catch a nade though. Very good at that.
I can't believe he hit that shot again on the kenzie. Oh, they're going in.
Yeah, he couldn't believe it on the jiggle. He should be burning out here.
I think the molly missed.
And as the dust starts to settle, Flip pushes the lobby, re-aggresses into Snappy. Oh, I thought Hades had him every day of the week. It puts Doto into a real dire situation. forZe are going to close this gap here. Lobby aggression and good adjustment, but the dink from the M4 puts Doto on notice. 50 seconds. He'd love to be able to cut noise and disappear, go on a walk around the world. His retreat to yard is being held. Oh, maybe not. If he looks to cut noise here in the lobby, he could potentially be slipping through the ramp. Zorti will get concerned about that in about 20 or so seconds.
Yeah, it's curious. Are they just going to play one bomb site and retake together? Right, they have a lot of options here of how you want to approach this one if you're forZe. Dodo just hoping something comes his way here. Well, Flit's now starting to have a look towards the B bomb site. Dodo...
He'd have a plan.
He could just stroll on in.
I mean, it would have to be a anti-heaven plan.
Is he just... He's just saving.
Maybe.
Because he'd have to start running now. Okay. Gave it a crack. Gave it a try. Why the hell not?
Fair crack of the old whip. But that one, yeah, that's another one for forZe, and it looked so promising at the start for ENCE. Almeza 16 at the top of the scoreboard as well. This was Doto 1 for the forZe boys 2. But a missed molly as well gave Almeza that ability.
It was 9-2, right? And it could end 9-6 here because it's Mac-10s and Tech-9s with 2 AKs on the side here for forZe going into the final round of play. Sorry, for ENCE going into the final round of play against a fully bought up forZe here. So here we go, back to the top rushes.
The util is definitely there, but the flashes, oh dear. Kenzie's only good for the 1. Even Jerry completely pushed and forced out of Mini. 2 from the heaven position. I'm getting flashbacks from those previous rounds. The flash is good. The trades are better. Diha does manage to dismantle the AWP in heaven, and now Jerry last of fall. There you have.
Was that a ghost?
I don't know what's going on.
Was that in this, were they using their mic in game?
Some ghosts in the system.
Were they using their mics in game? Is that what happened? All right. Well, CT side quite heavily fortified here, and Hades gets a CZ75 in his hands. 1xBet odds favoring ENCE now, and well, it makes sense with the explosive start here on Nuke. Taking some pace off of this one, forZe. It's quite the contrast when you look at the way things are approached on the other side of things, but out ramp they go. Space taken, Spinks hiding a snap. He draws them on in, not looking in his direction. Spinks, he's not able to get anything. The third finally picked on up, and well, I think it's just kenzie now to fall. Later trap at ramp. Couldn't have worked better. kenzie gets a snappy one, but there it is, 11 for ENCE. They're looking fantastic on Nuke.
Yeah, and I mean, confirming the pistol as well as that 10th, you know, my hopes and dreams for the forZe, perhaps nuke resurgence to 60-40 Jerry was talking about, start to fade away. And I'm just starting to get excited for that Mirage and the potential for the full 3-map affair here.
Yeah, so forZe right now, the Dust are going to talk about it, I'm sure, but they're up to a 17-game win streak on the map of Mirage. They've won Mirage 17 times in a row, and today could be lucky number 18.
We've watched a couple of them, Chad. It's not an overcomplicated approach, just
no,
a whole team that knows what they want to do.
It was just walk around and kill people.
Yeah.
It didn't even feel like there was that many layers to it. He's Deagle.
Hang on.
Yeah, he's making this interesting.
Yeah, he is. He's got so many angles. He's actually opted to reload. And so his FAMAS falls into enemy hands, pushing up. Flip doesn't find much. And yeah, neither will the boys from forZe.
So in that first half, I think if we're reflecting a little bit for forZe, they did try the force buy wars very early against ENCE, right? Rounds 2, 3, and I think they converted the third, the fourth ENCE force wired back, or force bought back if we're trying to speak the language properly. So there's really been a lot of financial investment early out of forZe. This time round, it was more of a lighter approach, and that's given them these AK-47s, the Galil and Amaze's hands, and let's see, can they show us anything here on this T side? It's not going to be easy. Dihar aggressive towards red. His position is slightly noted as nade damage will indicate that, but unless Kenzie clears his corners, he might just be a dead man here. Dihar going to play it right in front of you, and he won't hesitate.
Yeah, it's always a very fruity game when you've got so many yard smokes out. A game within the game.
4v5 now, pivoting towards top. Nobody has any space towards yard here for forZe. Has been completely denied. They need to be a blunt object, force their way in.
Yeah, but with what?
Wow, a headshot and a flash.
A flash and a headshot? Okay, right, wow.
Doesn't even have to be in that order. They can headshot first, then they can flash.
If they're fancy, I suppose. Those are their two options, Chad, and I don't like either of them. You've got a pretty solid and potent setup here. Doto and Spinks Hutton playing float. Two on ramp side.
Outside. They don't even care. They know it's not yard.
And so here we go, the slow, that was one of their two flashes. Almeza looking the wrong way, Doto unloads, and Zorti trying to dip his toe here into ramp, but he's already been dispatched of Hades. Softens him up for Snappy, and his last two have been scouted out here in the ramp position. A nice adjustment from Diha. We'll wrap things up, put a bow on it, and get ready to rock and roll for the final three. 13-5, and the boys from forZe broken.
Okay, well, I think we all know where this one's headed. Great way to start off the round. Back turns. Comes in, closes out as well. Great shooting here from Diha. Haven't really needed a whole lot from Hades here. It's not that he's not contributing, it's just that it hasn't been the Hades and Diha show. It's really was, I think, Snappy's calling in the first half with everybody doing their job, and now Diha with a couple of multi-kill rounds that have been finding some impact. Some pistols upgraded. Next round of play is going to be that max loss bonus, so can spend a little bit more. It's that Friday feeling. You know, forZe, they've had a long week. They've been allowed to splurge, spend a little bit extra cash. Trying to have a good night.
Down the spoons. Well, no fun to be had for Kenzie as his screen goes white and his health bar goes black.
Had too much of the pre-drinks, I think.
Yeah, too many snake bites.
Look at Diha go, just an absolute menace here. He's hearing all this. He knows that there's more around the corner.
The flip is gone.
You'll be coming with me, sir. Almeza, you smudged some Vaseline on your cam there, mate.
Yeah, no, that's actually his alter ego.
His alter ego?
I was trying to say Almeza backwards. It's a bit Rezamla.
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 Rezamla now.
Rezamla the Blurry is his full name.
2 on 5, guys.
I don't know, man. I've heard good things about Rezamla. And no, Jerry doesn't work.
Your edge?
Your edge.
Your edge.
So he's going to actually get an uncontested plant.
That's thanks to Jerry. Open the door. The sound cue's there, guys. So I don't think.
Go on. Go on, my son. You want any more in there? Oh.
Good plant, right? We knew they spent a bit more cash. Now they're going to be able to spend even more so. So 14 now to the 5 of forZe here. And this one is not delivering in the action-packed variety. If you're just a general Counter-Strike fan and you were hoping a back-and-forth affair here on map number 1, you're not getting it. But if you're an ENCE fan, if your name's Natu, Mr. Jonna Leppänen.
Very nice.
Thank you, I've been practicing.
Wow, I've rare to hear you commit, so I'm proud of you.
He's watching and he's loving it.
He is?
He's having a great time. He is having so much fun. Yeah. I guarantee it. The smile on his face right now.
And Finns don't have fun often.
He has a hot tub. Yeah, he has a lot of fun.
He does, and he smokes meats.
Yeah, he does.
That's what I think adult males do.
Smoke meat?
I saw Jason as soon as he got home, smoked his meats.
Of course he did. But he, yeah.
I don't smoke meats. I'm clearly
not
not
even
a
have
man.
a barbecue.
I don't even have a barbecue.
You don't have anywhere to smoke your meat. Well, this is really it, guys. This is forZe's last chance. Can they make anything of this map? It has been a very one-sided affair. Aggressive again towards Yard is such a problem here because Dihar retains so much information. They know immediately it's not going to be a Yard play. Even willing to stand and fight.
Yeah. Deep molly. They're trying incendiaries onto the silo. You know they want that Yard control, but it looks like they're going to battle for it. Okay, game on. And game face on for Dihar. Full Yard smokes. It does lock Zorti out from, Hades out from providing support. And there is the first in the feed from forZe. Flit. Frags. First.
Well, the fact that they aren't taking that secret space is going to come back to hurt them here because Hades is waiting and playing around his own smoke.
He's not looking the right way, though, and they have run boost across, so this will be an element of surprise. The left peak, he's...
Oh, tucked away from it now.
Accidentally. Maybe his angles will be held here. Yeah, Spinks will confirm there was aggression. And you've got some space, I suppose, and Kenzie should be threatening. Almeza should have a gap, and he's pipping it, looking the wrong way, just in the corner.
Blind spot,
yeah,
huh?
Perfect blind spot from Spinks. And now survival is his priority, and Zorti will collect a freebie. Kenzie walking a little lackadaisical, and Zorti now doesn't get a chance to get even close to the site. So yeah, I mean, felt very one by one, felt very under the pump. I think Spinks didn't really have to break a sweat for any of those 3 frags he collected.
Yeah, this has been easy. This has just been really easy for ENCE.
Now, I can't wait to see the contrast.
Yeah, look, Mirage, I think, is going to be a lot closer of a matchup. I don't think it's going to be this level of a disparity, right? Just because forZe are on that streak. If you have a look, I'm sure it's not, 16-5 type of score lines here. So this is really, really good from ENCE. It's quite a statement. I love that they just continue with these faster maneuvers, that it's working the way it has been, and now they're just closing out in style. We did get to see Hades there on the AWP hitting a couple of nice ones and a different smoke wall in play. Let's see, how does Dihar deal with this? Drops his own molly, trying to slow down that secret descent. Hearing a lot of bullets being spammed on through here. Snappy's about to have company when that fades. His molly defensive, allows him to isolate for a fight on the left, and Jerry burning. Zorti forward and would need the kill. Warning shots only, and wow, it's not looking great here.
Not at all.
They have been able to get across to secret. And they've even got the opening, so Zorti, there you go. He's opened up the account. He's taken out Dihar, that's a big find.
Yeah, he actually immediately started to try and return to ramp. So if Snappy is aware... Oh, Zorti with more impact for the boys. Doto's filled the gap, though, and this element of surprise could catch him. He's been very audible about his return to lobby, and so that could result in another catch. Spinks is down 3v2. Hades to hold on to this top site, and already deals with the first threat. Zorti now forced into a bit of a tight situation and cleared by Doto. Problems for forZe, all that hard work, and may not even see another round of play. Looking to end it here in a snappy manner, appropriately, for ENCE. He's only got 20 seconds, Chad. They could even let him pick up the bomb, but it doesn't look like Hades has intentions to do so. Dude needs his util. The smoke is exactly what he was looking for. It's going to be so close. He's going to have to run now, and they're not going to let him pick it up. This molly's down. And what a horrible way for this last round to transpire. They've spread out enough. And it will be ENCE finishing things off. It's a domination on... We'll find out, because it does look like smokes are already flying through the sky. Jerry to test the A site, and the CTs have gone for full vest, so it will just be the USPs to receive them. Spinks on an aggressive stance. ENCE given the edge by the 1x bet odds. It makes sense, 1-0 up. Let's see if forZe can change our minds with some more standard Mirage Ws.
They know this is a fake. Nobody from ENCE has moved.
Oh, and they'll collect the first. Almeza has made it costly. And now the fake, well, they're spotted out Flit crossing into the site. They haven't seen the bomb. Kenzie will reveal it shortly. Oh, they still haven't seen it. Doesn't matter for Diha. He's only just contended with the A-Lurk.
If anybody I wanted in this situation, it would be Diha. Had a great nuke here. Let's see. He's been hitting some snappy shots. 2 to find. Flit up close and personal needs to be the first.
All right, Flit, you got anything for us? And the answer is a resounding yes. Couple of bullets to the belly, one to the head for good measure. And, well, forZe, they're off to the start they desire.
Now, this 17-0 streak, well, it's not O. There's no O. There's 17 in a row.
Yeah.
That's, should have put it for forZe. It's, it can work in 2 ways, right? It can be, oh, wow, we're due a loss, or it can be, we are invincible. No matter what happens, we can win Mirage.
I prefer the latter.
Now, I'm sure we all do if we want to get to the 3rd map of Ancient here today. Once again, I'm sure Juna Leffinen doesn't want that to be the case, but...
Oh, not after the heartbreak of the last Pro League season. Come back to that. Nice scout damage. Jerry's gobbled up some damage from that scout. But, I mean, at this point in time, it would take a little more than Hades to disrupt this forZe project.
Yeah, so they've established that there is a scout. Now how they're going to deal with this here. Almeza had some really good moments on nuke. He spotted one. It's going to be a smoke towards connector here, and that is just going to hold forZe in their place right now over towards middle. They are parked with 4 players, so if ENCE just stay in this spread here, it is likely they can chip away even more so when forZe eventually start to have a little bit of a look of where they want to finish. Kenzie feels like he knows something is on just the other side of that wall, and well, with Snappy's forward position towards B, that would be a deadly place for the CIS team to finish. Up through connector they go. Got 50 seconds left now, starting to get a little bit worrying.
Yeah, it gets tight in the next 20. If we see forZe go untraded like this, nice from Almeza. He clears that ratty angle. Spinks was in a perfect position to get that 2-bullet deagle body shots.
They're going B now, they are. They're evacuating, so
nice.
They've got the kills, they've got the space they needed, and they've kept it very, very calm. Now, you know, we've watched a lot of forZe, or we've watched some of forZe. I don't want to say a lot of forZe. We've watched some of forZe play on Mirage, and it does sometimes just feel like they're walking around taking fights. And that's what they got away with just here. But they stalled this one out. There's a little bit of pace taken off this. Just very confident on the layout of this map with all the different jewels that are available.
Yeah, a very big jewel actually going down in the defense of that AK. You can see that it's not been retrieved just yet. Diha might try and close it out and pick it up at the end. Don't think anyone's in a position to stop that or deny that, so Diha eventually will leave with the AK.
Yeah, very happy about that one. So a nice little upgrade for ENCE to find here. Diha's going to be able to, Dota's going to be able to drop his deagle over in the next round of play. So it's going to be a 2-0 start to things here. I really don't think this is going to mimic Nuke in terms of the scoreline. I think that this should be a closer game. This was a great fight. Almeza, like, propelling himself forward while holding the mouse one down there. So could have been a dead man if another bullet was released from Spinks's deagle in towards the belly. But here we go again. And we know ENCE, they love a force by themselves. Check this out. Snappy's just force bought into a deagle with head armor, a kit, and some nades. So both these teams showing they really like to push the issue here, even on the CT sides where we see teams not going for these type of buys. Another tag. Hey, he's looking good.
He has been good for it. And a map that Hades thrives on is Mirage. I can't wait to see him once he's equipped with that AWP. Spinks just holding the tightest of lines on short, more of a info peak than anything else. Smoke for connector deployed. That was Snappy's investment now gone. Diha just taking a cursory glance prior to its arrival.
Almost landed on his head right there.
On your head, son.
We're setting up for A right here. They're just going to leave Flit parked towards top mid. The rest of the members right now of forZe are setting up for an A execute, and that's where Doto currently resides. Diha can chip in from the stairs position and Hades from jungle. So will be some contact on A. Here they come.
Yeah, let's see how this one works. Diha's thrown out a smoke around Doto to play a bit more of a slower game. And it looks like the scout from Hades is already finding heads. Danger for now forZe. There's 2 of them tagged, very vulnerable to deagles. This could fall apart in an instant. Is there a way to recover? It's time to find out. Oh, they've got 2 smokes, but it's not in prime positions to even deploy them. Almeza is in sandwich with his Zorti's called upon to try and clear this dark position. There's a problem now on Connector. Flit with nothing to report, and it's just disastrous for forZe. They lose it all, and that should be some retrievable AKs, at least 2. There's another 4 recovered. Jesus. Okay, well, ENCE, they completely justify that investment.
Yeah, and that was the thing. The same thing happened on Nuke, right? They had an M4 on Flit's hands, if we remember the early stages of the Nuke, on the 3rd round on the CT side after a 2nd round force buy. So interesting to see what teams are being able to operate with these days and successfully, right? Understanding the tools that you have at your disposal and what are the best options to really hurt your opponent here. forZe will buy back in. Diha wants to fight. He does get a lot of information there, sees nobody home as they push through the smokes, and now they can just set on up and chill on out a bit as Jerry's working on this A bomb site. He was very aggressive up through the ramp, had a look, nobody home. Nade dipped over towards B, and Almeza chipped on down. So if you take a look at the radar, nobody from forZe is really grouped up with any real plan just yet. Almeza testing the waters on B. Flit on our screens right now in the underpass here, just clearing out close. And they have some room to work with here, but ENCE could still clamp down. Diha contesting from this connector position and re-smoked is going to give him a little bit more wiggle room here to be able to fight.
Almeza has weathered 2 HE grenades and lives to tell somewhat of the story. Will it be a positive one? Diha again, keeping him busy in middle. Almeza's ahead of this now, and perhaps the element of surprise. Jerry strikes, Snappy down, and now Spinks. He's got too many targets. Multiple targets. He mows down both from short. Oh, and another completely falls apart for forZe, courtesy of Spinks' short hold. And yeah, they say play on. They send the boys down to a guaranteed Glock eco. And that will be an open and shut ENCE 3rd. Get to hold on to all your goodies as well. So yeah, as you prophesized, Chad, it's not going to be another one of those stompy stomps, just each team taking their map by the horns. Spinks looking sharp today.
All right, well, they have P250, or a pair of them, as they head over towards B one more time. And this is a very slow approach from forZe, isn't it? Right? They're not getting away with too many fights earlier. At least it didn't seem that way. And then when they go looking for space, ENCE are happy to take those fights. Leaves them with nothing to do but explode onto a site here. And you're not looking or forecasting a lot out of forZe in a round like this. 80s with a couple of picks here, there, and everywhere, and a flat run boost. I think that made it a little bit more confusing for him.
Yeah, hard to track for sure. Well, the whole squad in forZe is here.
Well, so has ENCE. Look at this, 2 players now up towards short, boosting up, ready to fight. They are hungry for these kills. You'll take one. You'll definitely be happy with a kill when the investment was $600, so the reinvestment now going to have to come in for Diha. Now, he's got cash to splash. It's not the end of the world, but in the long game, that is the economy here of CSGO, maybe ramifications a lot further down the track, but we'll have to wait and see. Can forZe respond? They're getting their purchases in. Alex, this is a weird one, right? They've just let Flit buy into an AK. The rest of them have only gone for a half buy here. So this is telling me they want to get the AWP out for Zorti in the near future. So,
I mean, this also is a perfect embodiment of what you're talking about. You know, knowing the tools in your disposal and how you can implement them to best suit you and your economy. This, however, is a very aggressive mix-up. Hades just walks straight up mid, deals with Flit, unprepared for an engagement so early. And that was the hero. AK, Chad, it's going to fall apart so quickly. Diha with the touch of aggression here.
Yeah, forZe looking screwed in this one. They've been able to get the AK back at least.
Well, yeah, but look at Diha. I don't even know if they're going to be ready for it. Kenzie's barely got his weapon out before it's taken out by forZe. The response leaves them with 1 to recover. So now you've got 2 armored AKs, but 1 less player. Not sure which I'd prefer.
They still have all this utility, right? But they were setting up for a B execute here. So now that that's been removed, they're just going to start their walk again. And very silent stuff from forZe. We've seen them loving the shift key here, just back and forth across the map. This is not a pacey T-half by any means. And they will have to start getting a move on here. So going into Hades again. He opened this one up early, smoked out. They're going to pick before it. And, well, that's the wrong decision. Hades just grabs 2. You're smoking window. You may as well wait for it to bloom. Not looking good from forZe here at ever. At ever.
At ever?
At ever.
No.
Ever.
Or at all.
That works too.
Yeah. And already, I don't know about you, but if you're a forZe fan, my alarm bell would start to ring, not seeing the same potency that we grew to expect from these boys. Is this really going to be where it all comes crumbling down? The fairy tale start of just getting an invite out of nowhere, you know, filling in for the Renegades due to not being able to travel, having them arrive, qualify for the playoffs as a eyebrow-raising surprise in itself. And one of the compliments they had for previous coaching staff and new was this marriage of Little and, wait for it, LMBT.
You think?
Yeah.
You think it was a positive?
They described it as a potential positive. Little claiming that they kept all of the best bits from LMBT's Mirage coaching, combined with Little, and they used the word marriage in the sense of they've probably kept the best bits from LMBT's time with them, and that's, you know, what they attributed some of their success on Mirage 2.
All right. Yeah, well, I think that Mouse Sports team that LMBT was coach of was a very good Mirage team. I don't think Jerry was a massive fan of the multiple coaches. I think we heard from an interview that things were a little bit odd. But here we go. So not a full buy because Flit, he only has a Deagle. So let's see. Can they operate with only 4 rifles here? Scoreline 4-2. forZe are looking flat. Hopefully they can offer us something here. Otherwise, this might just be a quick series for the day, and ENCE will be walking their way into a Na'Vi game later this week.
ENCE versus Na'Vi. David versus Goliath.
Maybe they could do those top rushes on Nuke. That might rattle the Boomich Perfecto hold a little bit.
I don't know. Boomich Perfecto known for buying incendiaries, actually, Chad.
And MP9s.
They do like those.
Well, Spinks is pushing. They think they mollied him off. No way in the world. Look how aggressive he is here.
Yeah, he's hoping to catch someone on that bench position. And Kenzie's heading there now. Bang! Problems again for forZe. They've lost 2 prongs of this 5-pronged assault. They're left with nothing. Bomb just scooped up now in limbo in mid. It's up to Spinks when he wants to re-aggress, it seems.
Do you think it's the pressure getting the forZe?
I mean, what pressure? You're still the underdog.
And you're up against a team who is of comparable skill.
Yeah. Like,
it's not like ENCE leagues above you here. You're both in the same place in the Counter-Strike world, and you're just being absolutely owned. And let's continue more of that punishment. They're fighting, they're flashing, they're fragging, and they are just absolutely dismantling forZe right now. I know the score's only 5-2, but it's the fashion in these rounds. I don't know if I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning, but this doesn't look like good Counter-Strike right now.
It doesn't, and you know what's even like worse or better, depending on how we're framing this, is the fact that every member of ENCE is delivering. Like in an even capacity. We've seen a couple of Doto rounds, Hades rounds. In fact, the kill distribution is a perfect summary. 7-7, yeah, holy moly, 4 of them within 1 kill of each other, 3 on 7. Spinks, Diha, Hades, all delivering in the capacity that's required of them so far. ENCE, all right, in the driving seat here, and it's only armored pistols. What is Spinks considering there? He's just looking for flashes, I suppose. He's got a deep one. We saw these work wonderfully before. They're actually trying to wait them out, but Snappy's been resistant and hesitant with his own. You opt for a deep smoke first, which does kind of separate them a little bit, and that's the cue for them to go. Here they come, flooding in. Snappy called upon, and Snappy and Spinks combine. 2 straight out of the gate. Nothing left for Flit, and that should be it. Zorti's gone. That is 6, and a solid response to a quick B attack.
Yeah, okay. Well, see, that's the thing I forgot. You know, forZe are in the easy group. They're in the group with G2. So, you know, I think maybe I overestimated and overweighted their results. But seriously, though, forZe in the group stage, 2-1 over Complexity, 2-1 over Domestic Rivals VP, a 2-1 loss to OG who topped the group undefeated, a 2-0 over G2, and a 2-1 against Sinners. Did those results happen, or did, like, I'm gonna...
I mean, look.
I'm gonna zip my lip. There's still a lot of Counter-Strike to be played here.
Yeah. They're on quite the streak. There's no doubt about it. It's been well over 2 months since they last lost a Mirage, and that was in overtime fashion. forZe, this is unfamiliar territory to be this far down this early into a Mirage. And things are starting to at least correlate into a bomb plant. I say that, smoke jungle, and the bombs arriving late through ramp.
It's more like it.
It's good util usage. You can see what it's done to the CTs. If they have CT, which remains to be seen, looks like the flash was perfectly timed, a bit of a team one. But yeah, Zorti's bodyguarding. 2 CT is the call. Zorti should have another here and does collect forZe. Just as we asked where they are, they show us they've still got some fight left in them.
This is their first full gun round with everything.
Yeah.
Like, that's round 9. That's their first full gun round. It looked great. They actually took some spacing together. They had the team ready and raring to pounce off of Almeza's space. Somebody took a fight early, right? They actually went for and took some initiative. They decided where they wanted the round to go. It wasn't just sitting in mid and waiting here. So a nice one. A nice one out of forZe now. Maybe those engines starting to whir here. The double orbs going to be brought out in response as you get the orb highlights of Zorti.
Yeah. Now, you know we've been talking about Jorn the Leppanen.
Yes.
That's Natu, of course.
Yes.
Owner and ex-player of ENCE. Well, I wanted to talk about it. I'm actually a bit concerned this is going to be a big one because D has already caught Kenzie's aggression. If forZe just full here...
Good trade.
Yeah, Spinks has already managed to put Almeza down elsewhere. That was just on that
Jerry
long,
can
short
ruffle
line.
this.
I mean, they're not expecting him now. Hades is pushed up aggressive. Oh, they're both going to strike. This could work out wonderfully. I don't think he saw him. Default to be cleared. The sound will bait Doto looking the wrong way. But where is Jerry? Where is Jerry? Oh, no, and he's fired off a warning. Defensive smoke keeps him alive, and Doto's played himself there beautifully. Poor Jerry, left with nothing. No respite. And as I was saying, ENCE now 7 to the good, is that we shouldn't get too excited too early for ENCE. They had the most heartbreaking of losses, and they believed they were going to continue to make a deep run in the playoffs of the last Pro League. It was
let's not do that to them.
a record-breaking comeback from Virtus Pro.
On Dust.
15-3 was the score. ENCE had 12 playoff advancing points, and they let it slip.
Yeah, that was a game, wasn't it?
That was a game.
That was a game.
I'm just going to remind you there, and that's a great reminder from Peta, that it's not over till it's over. ENCE have experienced heartbreak before. Doto handing some to Zorti there. He's trying to be proactive with his AWP, and he just gets run down.
The fact that a rifler, after seeing that, would then re-pick in like that, the confidence right here that ENCE are playing with, they just want to take a lot of these fights, right? But they're still being measured. They're still being weighted. They're not just giving kills away. Well, that's a bit of a deep one there, D-Ha. Around the smoke, he'll dance. Down to 34 goes Flit. Noted now as pressure over towards A here. Hades flashed off. Dodo's still up close and personal. There's pressure all around.
Yeah, there is, and Almeza at least with 1, but the A defense still stands vigilant. Util dumped. God, I mean, Flit is going for the round-the-world maneuver, but there's not time really for him to be activated. You see the bombs coming A, and the bomb's now loose on A. Jerry's down. Kenzie needs something. He's aggressed into the site, but the crossfires are connecting. Diha collects. And yeah, falling apart now. The flank from Flit revealed.
Have to go A, right? So right now, Almeza needs something. He's not going to find anything at all. They know where Flit is. They should have been able to deal with him. This gets very interesting. One-on-one. Diha low on HP. Now it's a game of cat and mouse. How much noise are you going to make here?
I'm surprised by the amount of impact Flit has had. You can see
he's heard all of that.
Diha's ears perked up.
Oh, he's so aware.
And playing in that perfect triple box. The element of surprise is just too much, and Flit booked. That's another for ENCE courtesy of Diha. Okay,
well, what scoreline do you think it's appropriate that we can say it's looking really good? We're not going to say it's over. We just said it's looking really good.
Usually we draw the line in the sand at 10, you know, for comebacks. So in terms of looking good, we'll call it 10. ENCE could even have it over the course of this first half. It looks like 9 is just a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, well, right now we just have a little bit of a tech issue, everybody. We'll get this one fixed ASAP, but yeah, the coach, not looking impressed, I would say. And you can imagine why. Now, there's still 2 sides to each map of Counter-Strike to be played here, and maybe, just maybe, forZe can show up and show what they've got on their CT half.
It hasn't clicked before, Chad, but I just realized seeing the gaming Malta sign there. I know it's not set, but it could. It's the closest to a Maltese map we've got in the pool.
Yeah.
It's very dusty.
Unless you guys want to come play Danger Zone with me and Rush on Sirocco.
Sirocco's pretty Malta-y as well.
It's very Malta.
Very Malta. But yeah, we're close. You know, I haven't seen too many rug salesmen out and about in Malta.
No, it's very hot, guys, in Malta. So, you know, there's not a lot of... There are rugs, I can tell you that, definitely. But I don't know if anybody's making mega bucks selling rugs. You're not getting rug commercials. It's not buy, buy, buy.
Or
Get your rugs here.
The sofa sales, the notorious sofa sales.
50% off.
They never
70%
stop.
off.
They never stop.
We're on sale.
It's like the summer sale, then it's obviously the start of fall. You've got to,
Of course.
got to celebrate that one with a discount.
Well, then your end of financial year sales.
Yeah, of course. Everything must go.
Yep.
Until next year, in which case it must go too.
Yeah, and then you got your Christmas sales, of course your Easter sales,
Your Mother's Day sale.
Halloween
Your
sales.
Father's Day sale.
You've got all the sales.
Yeah. And essentially, what we're trying to say is there's never not a sale.
Yeah.
If you're buying a sofa full price, what have you done?
Yeah,
What are you doing?
You found a very honest person who's not telling you the couch is on sale and they're just selling you the couch. Actually, do IKEA have sales all the time? Are they rocking? I don't know. I reckon you get a full-priced IKEA couch.
I just found that really interesting. Good dialogue between Snappy and our admin team, actually, in the server. Just, I was interested.
He's talking to us. Is Snappy listening to us?
Is he?
Well, he's... With what he said, it feels like he's talking to us.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, because Snappy said, can we talk about stuff that's not relevant to the game, admin?
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But also, I imagine so at ENCE, you know, like, as long as it's not to do with the game, like, he's like, oh, finally. So as I was saying, boys, I went to the shops the other day, and you wouldn't believe it. I saw a cucumber, biggest cucumber I've ever seen. You wouldn't believe it. The girth on this cucumber. Doto loves it. He thinks that's hilarious.
He's having a good old laugh. This is a Finn cackling right now. You've never seen a Finn.
Jeez, calm down, Doto, mate.
Oh,
Whoa.
he's losing it.
He's absolutely in stitches.
Oh. You know, one of the things when I'm playing all these pugs, one of the things is when you play with the Finns, it doesn't matter like if you're playing with a 15-year-old boy Finn or you're playing with like a 30-year-old man who's from Finland. They all have that deep vampiric voice, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, how old are you? And the kid's like, yeah, I'm 16. I'm like, there's no way you're 16, dude. Like they all sound like mega adults.
Yeah, they do. And they all queue single file horizontally for the bus stop.
Oh, do they?
2 meters between each man.
Oh, they follow the rules.
It doesn't matter if it's snowing.
They follow the
this
rules.
was pre-COVID. They were doing social distancing before social distancing was vogue.
They understand that people want their space.
They do.
I respect that.
I mean, we're doing as well as the same here, Chad. We're still commentating together, but we're in our own little bubbles. And speaking of bubbles, I believe the forZe one may be bursting if this doesn't start posting a few more on the T side. It's going to be just such a impossible haul demanded of them on a map we expected to see dominance on. It has to start sometime soon. HF's in the chat. We're back underway. Thinking this one through. A late window smoke from Almeza. Jerry with one as well. So this is going to be fake mid control with Flip, the extra cream on that crop. Going to throw out some of his own util to try and sell this. Could it be 4 forZe members in mid? At the moment, it could be. ENCE don't have the info.
And they will be finishing A, right? So they still have a smoke for stairs, jungle, CT spawn. Flip working on whatever room he can. Almeza here ready to find another entry in towards A. He's been all right on that, and here we go.
Oh my lord! Jump scare for Dia. Flit just appears out of nowhere, thin air, and the smokes are down. This is where forZe do their best work. They're into the site, they've got the entry, and the bomb's even going down uncontested. He says as the bullets do connect, Zorti's unarmored plant has still gone down. And now being pushed. What the? Oh no.
Oh no, it's happened again.
Did his mouse go down?
It happened to him. I think something happened with his monitor, or that happened to him before, I think.
That might have been the tech pause.
The tech pause was for Zorti. I don't know what happened to Almeza. He's out of the server now, but around where there was a little bit of hope is now just Jerry standing alone in the palace against 3.
Oh, poor Jerry. And they're defusing under his nose as well. That will be 9. I expect another timeout just to piece together what happened to Almeza. But yeah, it did look like he lost visual.
Yeah, that happened to him. I don't know if you guys remember from the group stage, it happened to him, and he was kind of just jumping around. And yeah, they're discussing that. They're discussing it in the chat as well right now. So lots of fun stuff going on. I'm sure it's not fun for forZe here, but...
No, and I'm sure it's really not fun for Almeza. You know how frustrating it is when you do have like a technical hitch and a recurring one, like Chad's mysterious blue screens of death?
I still get them.
You do?
Yeah, I don't know why.
So you're just cursed, and so is Almeza.
Poor guy.
Oh, this is promising stuff out of Diha. He's called for Spinx's to support. But he should be set for some success. Oh, so blind and found. Doto, however, combines with Spinx. And every time I think I have something to celebrate for forZe, it's so short-lived.
Yeah, it's a kill and dead. And then they are on the receiving end of the trade. And at that point, well, they no longer have the number advantage. Now we just sit here, even with this space. Just take a look at that red blinking thing on your radar in the top left. That is nowhere near the little yellow dots. So that right there is a terrible way to be finding yourself in a 2-on-4 situation. Like, you have a bit of space. Zorty's out, he's partying, he's towards A, he's on the balcony, he's in shadow, he's scoping up. He's not being offered a goddamn thing.
He's working on fine margins here. Zorty, well aware of where these engagements can come from. He's been paranoid about jungle, he's been paranoid about CT, and both of that is correct. Oh, nearly. A good angle to clear. Hades, however, survives. 2 now from CT for them to contend with, and no smoke and no orb either. Hades, more impact from his AWP and just his patience prevailing. ENCE have sealed the deal with 10. And that leaves a lot for forZe to have to overcome if they wanted to force Ancient.
They really could have used the plant there, right? I feel there's just been so few rounds that we've actually seen a forZe full buy. They've been always hamstrung by something. This is destruction. What was it, five rounds in the first map?
Ooh, yeah.
So right now they have a total of 8 rounds over 2 maps. Like, surely it has to get better from here. So there's no way it could be the same level of scoreline disparity. Now, 10-5, feeling like almost a must right now for forZe, and they're offering something different. So a little limp out towards A. Through the underpass they go. Doto spotted, chipped away out, but shepherded by Spinks, who's going to drop an incendiary there to keep him safe. Over towards B, and well, even Snappy's lighting him up, but it just looks too easy.
It really does. Snappy will collect another with the bomb as well. The rotates in play. Nice find from Almeza. He'd need a lot more. D has just arrived on the flank. This is quick. I mean, he won't be able to contest the plant, but the retake is going to be a difficult one for the T's to hold on to. And how has Hades gotten away with that? Walks in, murders Split, falls to the Almeza AK, which has found 3 now. And Almeza has to do it all. Give me a 4th. Otherwise, this will be 11 for ENCE. Oh, Diha. Another damning 1v1. And ENCE extend their lead further.
How much does Almeza have to do, right? Nobody is really popping off right here for forZe, if we're honest. Flit has the most. Almeza has 8. It feels like Almeza's kills have almost all had impact, right? Like, he's walked into A, gotten entries, he's got important trades. Right now, he's trying to fend them off single-handedly here on this B bomb site. Yeah, I think 11-3. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to say. Oh, I guess, you know, this filter, this sifting process we're going through here in the round of 12, it's definitely finding the gold that is ENCE.
Yeah, I mean, we turned over some rocks and we did find some worms, but now Spinks is a dead man, actually tucked in with the worms, 6 feet under. Almeza's through, trying to be the hero we know he can be. Won't leave the 1, though. So a man advantage for forZe. Haven't seen one of these in a while. Let's see if they can finish strong with a 4th. Something, something, deceptive scoreline, something, something.
Well, they've hit cancel, right? They're all walking on back. That's again, Almeza walks into B, gets 2 kills, and he put the round into a position that's a conversation at least here. So where are they going to finish here, forZe? Down through the underpass. Still a decent amount of utility here for ENCE to operate with. They've got a molly and 2 flashes on Hades. Doto has a smoke and a HE. So let's see how these can come into their favor. Only a smoke for kenzie to operate with here. He's got a few options. Smoke a choke point or smoke the site so they can plant this bomb, because the CTs right now are a complete unknown. They have absolutely no idea.
He's gone through and cleared window. Now, if he opts for connector, timing it would be hard, very hard. But this is a plant right in front of Doto's nose. Zorty doing so. Tries to partner his bullets up with the HE. Jerry's posted up to deal with Hades here. Should be all good. And an adjustment from Hades. Jerry neutralized. Problems for forZe. Zorty needed the headshot and has found it. Call it 4. It's side out of them. Well, it didn't. It netted them 4. And so this better be the CT side of dreams, Chad, if they want any hope of taking us to Ancient and extending play here at their Pro League playoff debut.
1xBet do not think that is the case whatsoever here. And the impending doom of the B-bomb site finish looms. That nade, we all know the nade trajectory right there. Off the wrong little window ledge. Does no damage. Does nothing at all. It actually just sends ENCE packing. Diha with his low HP, is still operating as a member on the board right here. And back over towards A is where ENCE are going to go knocking. They still have a smoke. A couple of flashes here to work with. A couple of decoys as well. So where does Snappy want to smoke on this one here? Looks like... Oh, still has a few options. Looks like...
Jungle?
Yes. Okay. So this is to get them across here. The cross smoke with a flash, and it's just an A hit.
Off we go. Jerry, ready to receive. And no contact. It's a very quick turnover on this A site, because now, I mean, unless they don't have CT control... Oh dear, Flit's got 2 in a row. They were lined up for him. And their hopes and dreams of a open and shut pistol fall apart. That's great from Flit. Timing on his CT fight could not have been better. They didn't have the control. And I mean, it's one of the worst case scenarios is when you're planting, you just get it down and then lose 2. Like all of that map control you were counting on is gone.
Yeah, completely evaporates, doesn't it here? And this was really good from Flit. You can see here the timing just in his favor. So as he starts unloading, we can see the flash. Literally, we can see the flash, right? You can see that thing just hurtling through the air.
Perfectly timed.
Yeah, it couldn't have been better for him in that scenario right there. Now, ENCE, they're no strangers to a force buy here, and they have actually opted to buy Diha into a Galil, Pistols, Fort, Dota, and Snappy of the Deagle and Tech-9 variety, and Hades and Spinx are still having a bit of a conversation. If they can operate with the Galils and no utility, I think they will. And that's exactly what the purchases will look like here. So forZe, even though they did win that pistol round, they're going to be up against it, and they have opted to go for 2 M4s, or 2 silenced M4s, an AUG, Kenzie on the classic, and Jerry with everyone's favorite MP9 here. Now, unless forZe really show up and just have a shutout CT half, which I'm sure that they believe they can do. If you've won the map 17 times in a row, you have to have more than a little bit of confidence in it. You pick it day in, day out. An 11-4 half, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just the type of Counter-Strike they were playing in that first half.
Yeah.
They didn't look like they were an issue. It didn't look like they were causing dramas for ENCE. ENCE were just breezing through them here. So let's see. And they string a consecutive CT round together here. Only one player over towards B. That's Kenzie right now. So this is a heavy mid and A lean at the moment from forZe here. Not a bad call considering ENCE's spread, and that's an opener from Flit. So starting to heat up now is Flit.
Oh, it doesn't get easier than that. It really doesn't. Just 2 with the silenced M4. Snappy was trying to bait for Spinx, and it's worked well. Spinx takes 2 of the 3 required of him. Snappy laying his life on the line in pursuit of that. Now Doto Deeg up against 3. forZe for this 2-0 conversion on their defensive start, and they will take it. They'll even take a couple of upgrades for good measure.
Ooh.
Interesting. Jerry hates the M4A1. You heard it here first.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that's curious. So I guess maybe in the way that he's ranking his weapons, I'm sure it goes AK, M4, then silenced M4, then Galil, then silenced M4. So he's putting the Galil ahead of the silenced M4.
Was he not watching Flit just there?
I don't know. Maybe he just likes the extra bullets.
Yeah.
Almaze is having to use it, so there you go.
We could have been shouting and screaming about Spinx 3K in an incredible clutch scenario there if Snappy's bait and switch had rendered 3 for Spinx. Just the power of forcing your opponents to look elsewhere. Hang on a second. Hang on a second.
Come on now, boys.
forZe, sound the alarm.
Don't do it like this.
Okay, needed that. Wow, Kenzie has just pulled them straight back into this game. Got very scary if they were allowed to cut noise and retrieve rifles, and well, one of them has been retrieved. Doto's Deeg.
Still very worried.
Kenzie just about lives on. And now, can I calm down?
I'm still very worried.
Is it because of Spinx?
I'm still very, very worried. I'm more than worried. I'm super worried.
Why are they not looking? Ah, Spinx, I'd prefer not to be looking.
I'm not worried anymore.
Ooh. You know when you're spoilt for choice? It's like when you're at the banquet and it all looks good and you just kind of get overwhelmed. You don't really know what you want.
No, you eat it all.
Do ya?
You eat it all. You be gluttonous.
Yeah, but he was looking at both the plates. He didn't know what he wanted to have first.
Well, then he dropped them both. Someone swooped on in. There's no more sweet and sour. Yeah, Snappy saw what we all saw.
That's the...
Sometimes it happens.
It's the face you pull.
It is the face you pull. And every round they drop is one that forZe draws back closer to 11-7. All right, we're starting to work with something now. Guns are out for both sides. The full buys are in. Zorti into his big green. No ult for Hades, and back towards B we go out the gates. All 5 members from ENCE up in the apartments right now. They're looking at ENCE here like he might be a bit of a tasty morsel.
Yeah, and that incendiary will be beaten, bro. He's so flashed. By the time he gets his vision back, they're in the site. He makes himself known. A 1-for-1 into the site. ENCE makes it better for forZe, but it's on to Flit here, playing around the Molotov, and that actually enabled him to find a pretty uncontested frag. Look how much he's obscured by that black smoke. And Hades getting a bit threatening now. Look at the shots he's capable of hitting. That's the AWPer, by the way. Looking good on the rifle. 18 frags to Hades in his satchel, but forZe with 8. And I mean, this is the recovery most would have hoped for. If you're looking at the start, they've got the first gunny now under their belt, and ENCE will have to succumb to just a half buy.
Well, they've doubled their amount of rounds from that first half, so there we go. That's an easy way to split it for all y'all. And they've also won both pistol rounds in this game. So usually if you're winning both pistols in a map, we'd be considering you to be converting, right? Both pistols with conversions, that's a pretty strong bed to lie in. Back towards B they go again. This is a half upgrade here, and one more time for good measure.
Off we go. Oh, and Diha drive-by onto ENCE puts ENCE onto a heavy notice. The whole team's here. They're already planting. ENCE's yet to even unload his mag. He will choose to do so now, and it looked good for 2 frags. Gets nothing. Jerry better deliver and has. Now they're cowering in that position, hiding on the truck. Spinks caught through the smoke, and yeah, it will just be the bomb plan for ENCE. I say, as D has silenced M4, good for a pair. Smoking a kit. This shouldn't fall out of favor forZe. Oh my lord, they get the 9th, but not for lack of trying. Diha 1 frag away there.
Well, that was 2 rounds in a row. They get into the B bomb site. They make it look relatively interesting, and then 1 player is left alive against 4. Hades had those 2 snappy shots. Diha wants to do one better here. Maybe go B again. Maybe next time you get it all 4. This is them doing so much damage now just to keep forZe humble here on this CT side. So ENCE, they've tried that B bomb site 2 consecutive rounds now. Will they go again, or will they try something a little bit different? It looks like different is on the agenda. Over towards mid they go. Bit of a fumbled, flubbed movement there, and that's going to cost ENCE his life. He will go 1-for-1.
Yeah, that's huge from ENCE. The fact he actually takes one with him. Diha weathers the HE and the flame to get a power position into this ladder room. He can just pause now, and you know how Mirage likes to play. Park the bus, group up. Diha to have a bit of a late arrival to that window and jungle position. It's held by Flit. Oh, and he's looking good today, yeah. Straight to the head of Diha. He reacts by actually going B, so there is a gap. Snappy brave to be walking the bomb first, and with his back turned to jungle, no less. Jerry pushed up Tetris. There's a hard one to break here. Oh, but he was ready for it, and now Zorti on CT. Flit controls it onto Hades, and a tag. Oh, he's dead. Just catching it. Snappy, evades it. The polygons are on Snappy's side, and now with the bomb ticking, Doto perhaps can come up clutch. Flash to rot the clock as best he can. Doto contending with 2 here, and I think he knows it. Oh my god! Both in the same spray, and disappears as well. Looks like ENCE, courtesy of Doto and Snappy, have recovered this one. Zorti to come up clutch. They're going around the world on him. It's planted perfectly for him, and he's trying to close gaps that don't exist. Loudly now, Snappy will know this. Zorti's just not got time, and Doto,
brilliant.
He'll complete the set. That's 4 from him. The Finn popping off for ENCE's 12th.
I feel every game we do with ENCE, Doto just has 1 impact round, and that one right there is going to be it. That is huge. They were against it right there, ENCE. You consider the way this has kicked on off. Flit having to impact. This was the initial trade, right? So that's great for the trade kill. But this spray transfer is brilliant. He's done such a great job here. He always finds himself, when he is in a power position, he's really able to get the most out of it. And that is a nice, just a nicely played round to win.
Yeah, and on the fade, I mean, it looks, even when I'm in his POV, and as it's fading, it looks like it favors his opposition. Yeah. But he just, to the draw, very quick for the first bullet.
Lots on the line, Alex. I've just taken a quick look here at forZe's buy. They've gone all in. They've spent everything.
Oh, yikes.
Right?
No.
Because of the loss bonus right now being reset back on down to 1,400, you may as well. So it's 1,900 in the next round to play. Look at the money just bottom out. Those rounds where they hit B time and time again and only one player stayed alive, it meant they couldn't build a bank, right? They were having to reinvest in everything. So right here, right now, the ult in Zorti's hands, Kenzie into the M4, Deagles for the rest, and all they're operating with is 2 smokes of util. There's not even a kit. This is going to be so difficult for forZe right now.
Yeah, and as long as ENCE don't kind of stumble into the site, it's going to be really near impossible. Zorti would have to have quite the influence. And at the moment, he's nowhere near where the bomb intends to finish. Oh, wow, what a catch. Almeza just on the jump for info. And Hades has taken him straight out of the equation. ENCE getting closer and closer to advancing into the next stage of competition in those playoffs. Round of 8 looms.
It's a dream. Hades giving you an opening like that. And now being able to navigate the map here with all this util. You can see a minute on the clock. They're still holding on to quite a good amount here of nades.
Oh, looks like we got some textbook Counter-Strike here, Chad.
Map control. Feign mid presence. Rotate back towards A. Set piece in towards A. Should be around conversion here. As long as they smoke CT spawn. They only have 2 smokes here, so they actually might not. They might just go stairs and the jungle cross, which means Zorti will have a chance from CT here to be able to contribute. They need to flash and deal with him quickly.
It's going to be Hades that's called upon to hit this shot and be responsible for this triple box presence. They know he's there. Zorti gets one, does not get away. Snappy's the one to punish. That was the only real weapon in play. Kenzie has an M4 as well. He's coming in through CT. If Snappy gets this, which he does, this one's fallen by the wayside for forZe and ENCE edging ever closer to this 2-0 conversion.
Oof, you would love to get your hands on a rifle here, wouldn't you? But I don't know if ENCE are going to let you hold on to anything. You need to try and walk away with this round for something if you're forZe. Next round's 1,900. You're not going to be able to invest whatsoever if you want to get a gun round going. And that'll be to defend against letting ENCE get 15. So, terrible position for forZe to find themselves in. And, well, it looks like in the start of this half, they've woken up and we've started to see something. But it just feels like they've been too late to this one today, forZe. Map number 1, I don't know if it rumbled them. I don't know if it's the pressure, right? forZe is a team. Previously, Xe Power and Face Crack in the roster. Now you have Kenzie and Zorti coming in. Maybe just the pressure of it's a bigger match. You know, it's a tier 1 event where you're in the playoffs.
I mean, and they weren't expecting to be here as well. I think some of the wins, it seemed from the interview they gave that Zorti and Kenzie both came in with really, not only nerves, but low expectations. forZe were here to just play our games, play our officials, let's learn something. And I think as they started to believe and see the victories in themselves, perhaps that new belief of, oh, we can actually do this is coming back to haunt them.
Yeah, well, now they are on eco, right? And
for 14.
Yeah, it's a really rough spot to be right now. They will have guns to defend in the next round, but you're going to see just how rough the buy looks. And forZe have already shown a tendency to offer rifles instead of utility.
Oh, Jerry's going to get shot in the bottom if he's not careful here.
See what he's looking up? He's extending his torso, you know, just so he seems a bit thinner. Okay, it worked. You got one out of it. We'll take that. Now you just need your teammates to find one apiece as well here, Jerry, and you might get your 10th round. It is Snappy who's gone down, though. So now the Puppet Master gets to micromanage his troops here with the bird's eye view. He can flick through all of them. He can say exactly who he wants where.
Don't force anything there. Oh, I love that out, Kenzie. You're so low. Ooh. Oh, and Zorti's USP. I think he threw a one-way there. He had vision on Spinks. Spinks sees nothing but gray. Almeza, yeah, neutralized. Diha getting chipped away at Zorti. If you could just play your life now. Survival integral. More damage from Zorti.
How is he alive?
I can't believe Diha is alive. That's some damn good Kevlar he invested in. Some unicorn hair woven in there. And if Hades doesn't clear, Kenzie needed that. Okay, forZe with this Deagle Eco victory could really give them the juice they need back in the tank. Thank you, Zorti. And thank you, Jerry, for starting it off. They wouldn't have slowed them down that much if it wasn't for the 1-for-1 initially.
That feels like kind of the first round that they've had that, you know, they have no business winning. Like, we're even talking a rifle round where they're down in like a 3-on-5 and someone gets a multi-kill or something. The first round where it feels like they're completely written out of this. Here you go. You can see it from Zorti's POV here. And oof, Bang, bang. See you later, alligator. Okay, well, now we definitely have a conversation. As long as forZe can convert this buy is so much better than what they would have had if they had lost that previous with the lost bonus that was available to them. Jerry and Kenzie both up close towards A, and this could be the right call. We can see the execute pending.
Oh, God, yeah, but this is ENCE. We know how quick their full team executes. They've been dry running lots. Let's see how good this one slaps. Flip has vision, and he's taken Hades out immediately. Jerry, multiple targets. He's looking a bit overwhelmed with his options, and Snappy into the site does well. Kenzie needs a pair of frags. He's lingered in the smoke for long enough. They've passed him. Surely they've forgotten about him. If his team could just survive a second longer, he'd have vision. And this is the strike. Two with their backs turned. He can't even finish off a second, and that's the end of that. Cancel your plans for celebrations. forZe put right back into reality by the ENCE execute.
Oh, it looked good, and then it looked bad, didn't it? Opening from Flip was fantastic. You think, okay, the sleeper in Kenzie here, he's going to push out the smoke on the plant. He might get them a kill or two. But ENCE going down through the smoke there, that's the one that really made things so much worse for forZe. Because Kenzie, he is that sleeper agent. You want to leave him there. You want to bait a little bit, right? You want to let him know, okay, we are here. We're trying to find a way back into the site so all eyes aren't drawn on clearing that out. But just getting that smoke spam through, ENCE goes down. Kenzie flustered. And that's going to be 14 now. So even with that eco win, we're right back finding ourselves with ENCE in that driver's seat. And to respond after an eco loss with a round like this is great. Right, this is the one. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. No idea. Snappy had no idea. Just unloading.
And you know, you saw there was a player banging him through the Palace position as well. But it all hinged on that tag and get away from Spinks. He not only got the frag, Jerry had an opportunity to return the favor. Spinks proceeded to get another pair of frags there, or at least a second.
Yeah, it's just been a rough one to watch for forZe today, but this is great signs for ENCE, and hopefully they are going up against Na'Vi in the next round of play. Hopefully, you know, they can bring some of the tenacity, right? It's not going to be as easy to go up against the sharp individuals over there on Na'Vi.
I would love to see how ENCE's nuke fell against Na'Vi's.
And that's the thing, Na'Vi's nuke is really good.
Exactly.
But I feel like Snappy's the type of guy who's happy to pick that against them. So
it would be such a ballsy pick to pick nuke into Na'Vi, but what else do you pick?
Yeah. Maybe Ancient, but we've already seen how that went for Mouse Sports, I believe.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well, ENCE are within touching distance of doing one better than their previous Pro League season. And it's Hades again. He's been consistently bugging ENCE.
It's been great.
He caught him on the jump up.
See this util? To deny Kenzie getting this AWP back, right? He's just thrown a HE, a smoke, he's just thrown everything. Everything. Trying to stop Kenzie from getting the AWP, but Kenzie don't care. He's got a pistol. He's going to take a risk. He's going to get that AWP in his hands. So double AWPs are still wielded here on the CT side, but once again, ENCE find an opening, they feint some mid control, and they rotate back over towards A here for the finish.
So Zorti and Jerry are actually going to tuck into ramp. Now, this is potent. And that's a miss, an unforgivable one. Chance for Jerry's dig. He does so well to find two. Flip from behind, trying to say play on, and he has. What a recovery. Jerry with a pair on the dig, finishes it off nicely. It's Flit as well, striking in unison.
So of the last 3 rounds played, forZe have won 2 rounds where they were at the disadvantage. Yeah. Whether it's not with numbers, whether it's with weaponry here. This is how this one started again. Like ENCE in a great position here, and that miss, huge miss, that Jerry does mop up in a big way. So right now, if you're forZe, if you're not feeling it with these heroic plays that you've had, these moments that should be getting you fired up, I don't know what you need to get that jolt to the system, because here we go again, guns back out.
That's got to get the juices flowing, Chad. I mean, you're going to be so hyped. Doto playing a very different video game as he lands straight into the head. Still a 4-on-4. We can chill our beans, but it doesn't look like ENCE planned to. The nade hurts, but the element of surprise is still there. Maybe not. Jerry doesn't look surprised at all.
Starting to heat up now, aren't they?
Hello,
look at this.
Another pair from Jerry.
It's looking like what we were expecting out of forZe. They're just walking out, taking fights. Pump spotted here. Finish the kill there.
Oh.
Gets gifted an opportunity. So now we have a 2-on-3 situation, and looks like forZe have a pretty good idea where they need to defend.
Loud. Mantle heard him. Kenzie is unaware as to Snappy's location, and this is the flash for the frag. Gobbles it up. Kenzie's dead, no rebuttal. Almeza pivots to the window, and now he's missed his shot. They can't let this one slip. Already the man advantage has been neutralized, and they're still under the thumb, under the screws. Zorti has to be patient about this Palace push. Has to be. Head on a swivel, they're out, and Hades has delivered the frag. forZe are faltering here. Bomb to be planted, Almeza asked to clutch. He knows where Snappy was. Hades, oh, and another miss on the AWP. It's 15 for ENCE, and one straight back. In a round, they had no right to win.
Jerry's done a lot there. He's just taken dry fights against two players and owned them. Like it was brr, brr, you're dead and you're dead. And then they just get to isolate every fight. Here it is again in the replay. It's just a dry fight. He's just peeking. And then Hades somehow able to isolate all of these. That flash into connector was him alley-ooping Snappy as well.
Yeah.
So the teamwork was on point. It wasn't just the shots. And well, forZe apparently where they do the best work are back to the pistols here. Surely not another.
Hades, my standout new name, I think. Didn't want to overreact too soon, but getting Mantu vibes from him.
Yeah, very much so.
Oh, hello. Spinks looking to finish it off right here and now. Maybe Jerry has something to say about it. Knows there was one in Palace. He's very much between two minds, and it leads to his demise, and so will forZe fall. Doto books another, and yeah, this one's over. ENCE, a ticket to the round of 8, next stage of competition. And beating forZe in 2, breaking their record, Chad. There